Umamusume Pretty Derby.
The game about Japanese horse girls. What? Umamusume, the Japanese horse game that has risen in popularity in the last few months, where you train your own horse girls and race against other horse girls. And I downloaded it because, of course I did. What? Did you not think I would download a game where you can interact with cute anime girls? Well, 5 years ago, and I would have looked at you very weird. I have played this game for like 2 months now, and I still don't have an A rank Uma. I suck, I know, but that doesn't make me ineligible to make a review on this game. So here are my thoughts on Umamusume Pretty Derby. Umamusume is a Japanese phone game, first and foremost, developed by Side Games, and the global version released on June 26, 2025. You know what? Who cares about this shit? It's a gacha game where you gamble your money on sexy anime horse girls and spend so much time fucking around with so much fucking RNG, you will either develop an unhealthy parasocial relationship or become lonely and depressed, if not both. I swear, there's so much RNG in this game, it's ridiculous. The gacha is RNG, the training event is RNG, the failure is RNG, the companion appearing during training is, well, RNG. Hell, even the races themselves are RNG. You deciding to use a late surger or end closer? Too bad her RNG was shit. Here we go, 8th place. This game shouldn't be called Umamusume Pretty Derby. It should be called Horse Girl Gambling Simulator.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The characters in this game are actually based on famous real-life racehorses, such as Ogre Cap, Major McQueen, Tokai Teo, and Simboli Rudolph. Yeah, because you obviously knew that they existed before this now, did you? Tell me, did you know there was a horse named Obey Your Master? Nah, I bet my Major McQueen you didn't. There is a saying that goes, there isn't a special week without a marvelous Sunday. But I'll assure you that last Sunday was not a marvelous Sunday. In fact, it was kinda shit. Why? Well, let me tell you. Last Sunday, I really got to see how power-creep the new characters in Genshin were. Like, holy shit. I swear, they spent more time discussing the size of Llama's boobs or the thickness of Yahoda's thighs instead of actually thinking about how to make a fair new unit. But we're getting off track. We aren't here to talk about Hoyo and their Gunner characters. No, we're here to talk about Major McQueen and Gunner Umas. And oh boy, do I have a lot of shit to say about their recruiting system. The gacha in this game is actually not that bad. Shocking, I know. Alright, so how does it actually work then? Well, that's what I'm gonna explain right now. So, let's use the Asian Flash banner as our example. As you can see, the feature 3 star is, well, Asian Flash, you dumb fuck. For every 10th pull you do, there's a 100% chance to be a 2-star Uma, and a 3% chance to be a 3-star Uma. Since Asian Flash is the featured 3-star, she will have 0.750% chance to be drawn, and the rest of 3-star Umas in the pool will have a 0.077% chance each to be drawn, with the number keep getting lower the more that gets added. And how does a new Uma get added to the standard pool? Well, after the banner ends. This is, in theory, a good thing, since you don't have the same kind of FOMO that you have in other gachas. However, there's a small problem with this. No, actually, scratch that. There's a huge fucking problem with this. Alright, imagine this. There's a character that you really want, but you just missed their banner, and it's now in the standard pool. What do? Wait for the rerun? Sorry to break it to you, but that rarely happens. So, what can you actually do then? Gamble and pray. That's what you can do. Like game. All I want is one fucking Mihone Bourbon, please. Or a Ogre Cap, or even a Teo. Like, I know I have said that McQueen is the GOAT, and I still stand by that. But that doesn't mean you need to give me 4. I even have the Season 2 anime version. You know what? I'm gonna do a temple right now, in this moment, just to prove my point. Well, at least it isn't a McQueen. Farewell, my temple towards Manhattan Cafe. You will be missed. Also, the hard pity in this game is 200. But, as all gachas, there is another type of banner. Like, of course there is. What did you think this was? A fucking charity? The other type of banner is a support card banner. And what do they do? I'll get to that, alright. Now, when we got our 3-star Uma, that was not bourbon. One day, I promise. It's time to train her. And how do you do that? Careers, baby! We're going to do the URA Finals career, as they literally added the Unity Cup as I'm making this video. And I don't even know how it works. So, we're just gonna pretend that it never even existed. I'm not gonna go into detail on how it works because this isn't that type of video, but basically it's a lot of RNG bullshit. Let me explain. After you have started a career, you will be greeted with this screen.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
Don't worry, I will explain everything in a minute. Alright, this is where you actually build your Uma. And how do you do that? By training different stats. And what does these stats do? I don't know. And I'm not gonna go into it either. Just look up a guide or something, I don't know. This is a review, not a guide. Anyways, when you train a stat, you consume energy, except for wit, which actually restores a small amount of energy. Your base max energy is 100, but this value can increase depending on the support cards you use. And what does these support cards do? Well, let's talk about them since you won't shut up about it. Before you even start a career, you need to make a deck of 6 support cards corresponding to one of the 5 stats and also PAL. 5 of your own and 1 borrowed from a friend. These support cards can help you during your career by giving you stat increases, energy recovery, and skills from randomly appearing events. Yes, even more RNG. And if you level up the friendship high enough with a support card by training with them, you unlock friendship training. It's these rainbow borders here, and they give you a boost in that training relative to that card stat. Got it? Good. Moving on. Energy management is the most important thing in a career run. Because if you reach below 50 energy, you enter the failure zone. And what is the failure zone? It's where the failure rate starts. The lower the energy, the higher the risk of training failing. And here is where even more gambling comes into play. For instance, you have 4 friendship training on speed, but it has a 30% chance of failing. If you skip this, it might be devastating for your career run. So, what do? Gamble or skip? And now you might ask, what if you fail? Well, you get greeted with this screen. The green one drains some energy and reduces 1 mood stage, which is bad. Or you can gamble on the yellow one, and perhaps maybe, if you're lucky, maybe get practice perfect, which is good. Or like, I don't know, you lose and get stat decrease, mood down, and practice poor, which is like very bad. And that's not even the end of the gambling. If you have a bad status effect, you can go to infirmary to have a chance to cure it. But wait, there is still more. If you do a race during a career that is not a career goal, after the race, you will in most cases be greeted with 2 choices. And yes, it's even more gambling. Like, come on, what did you think it was at this point, if not gambling? So, the top green one makes your energy decrease a fixed 15, and the yellow one between 5 and 30. Yes, more gambling. But there is a way to restore energy, to escape the failure zone, and that is by resting. But again, there is gambling to it. Every time you rest, you have a chance of restoring 30, 50 or 70 energy, with 50 being the most common. And on top of that, if you get a 30 energy recovery, there is another chance. You get the bad status effect Night Owl that drains energy until cured. And then we have recreation. And I'm not even gonna go over it, but yes, it's more RNG. But you might wonder, sure, it sounds bad, but you can just come back from these misfortunes easily, right? Well, yes, if the fact was that careers weren't turn limited. You see, dear viewer, every action you do, be it training, resting, or infirmary, you will use a turn. And for every turn you try to raise your Uma's mood, or reset from a training failure, or even resting, could have been a turn you could train for one of your stats. The fewer turns you spend on training, the lower chance of getting a high rank Uma. Like, holy fuck, this entire thing is literally just gambling and pray. At least the concerts are good.
走れ今はまだ終われないたどり着きたい場所があるからその先へと進め涙さえも強く胸に抱きしめ
そこから始まるストーリー果てしなく続く Winning the Soul. Such a fucking banger. Anyways, now that we know the basis of a career, I'm just gonna finish his career with Taishin and let's see how it went.
A few minutes later.
Now I'm done with the career and... oh fuck. Well, I guess you're going into the trash bin. Now then, we have finally reached it. The races. Where do I even begin with this one? The first thing about races is that there are 4 different distance types of races, namely sprint, mile, medium, and long. Different Umas specialize in different distances. There are also 2 different track types, namely turf, aka grass that you should definitely go and touch, and the dirt, which is always a mile distance. Every Uma is good at one or more of the 4 different running styles. And what are those? It's basically how your Uma places and runs during a race. The 4 styles are front runner, pace chaser, late surger, and end closer. I'm not gonna go into detail on what they do, but do know that each style usually needs different stat requirements to reach their full potential. Do I follow these requirements? Of course I don't. I use the same strat as always. 4 speed cards and 2 power cards. Maybe that's why I don't have any rank Uma.
Well, no fucking shit.
But there is another thing to talk about that is important in races, and that is skills. Skills are acquired by first unlocking them and then buying them with skill points in the career mode. But holy shit, the skills in this game don't make any fucking sense at all. Take Professor of Curvature, for example. Its activation requirement is as follows. Increase velocity on a corner with skilled turning. Huh? What the fuck does that even mean? Like, do the Uma needs to be skilled at turning to activate the skill or something? Another one of my favorites are Mayana Top Gun's 3-star unlock unique skill Flash Landing, with its activation requirement like this. Increase the ability to break out of the pack on the straight after engaging in a challenge toward the front on the final corner. What? Hey, my queen. Yeah? I challenge you to a duel. You what?
A few moments later.
I summon Blue Eyes White Dragon in attack mode and end my turn. Maya, it's your turn. You dare to challenge me! But it was you who... I activate my skill! Flashy landing! See you at the finish line! But that's not even part of the game. And as everything else in this video? Yes, even the races have RNG. Like, of course they do. For instance, the bitch called Late Start. When the starting gates open, there's a chance for Uma to get a late start, which is exactly what it sounds like, and it can really fuck you up. For a late surger or end closer, this might not be a huge problem, as they tend to place in the back anyways. But for a pace chaser, or especially a front runner, a late start could just mean an instant loss. And then there is the phrase, when you're blocked, you're blocked. Meaning essentially that the RNG decided to use other Umas to block your Uma and make her lose. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. Ah yes, we're finally here. The best Uma. It's my queen, without a question. And I don't mean meta or how good she is. I mean that she is just the GOAT. Like, look at her. Isn't she the most gorgeous thing you've ever seen? Her as a character is also good. And, to further prove my point, she even has her own solo concert.
Let's go さあ駆け抜けて今のこの時代をさあ輝こうもっと果てしなく知らない知りたいもう諦めない期待や夢を背中に乗せ
And then there is coaching.
白目向いて走るとすげえ目が乾燥すんだよもう無理よっしゃー宴かレースかどっちもかいいぜ受けてたー面白くなってきたぜ
Bruh.
わいわいてけどうや
But the real question isn't who is the best Uma. The real question is, do they use horsepower or Uma power in the Uma universe? Apparently, it's Uma power, according to Google AI. And we know how good that is.